ATP strikes another blow to Carlos Alcaraz. The US Open has announced that it will extend the tournament dates, and the ATP calendar continues to ignore players' criticism, Alcaraz being the most vocal, regarding such demanding seasons. The Australian Open has been an exciting start to the new tennis season, full of surprises and great performances. But not everything could be positive, as fatigue also became a major factor. Several top players struggled due to physical exhaustion. Gael Monfils had to withdraw from the competition because he couldn't keep up with the pace, Djokovic also retired, and even Jannik Sinner was on the verge of losing a match due to fatigue. This is because it is an extremely demanding competition held over 15 days, an idea now adopted by the US Open, which has announced a significant format change for the coming years by starting one day earlier to add an extra day to the tournament. This decision has sparked much criticism, both due to concerns over the physical condition of players and the apparent prioritization of financial gain, as an additional day means more ticket sales. The US Open announces a change and extends its dates. The last Grand Slam of the season has decided to follow the lead of the Australian Open and Roland Garros by extending the tournament to 15 days, adding one more day of competition. As a result, Wimbledon remains the only major tournament still played over 14 days, maintaining the traditional format. This change means that the next edition of the US Open will begin on Sunday, August 24th, and run until September 7th. This decision was driven by the tournament's record-breaking attendance in recent years. The number of spectators is expected to increase even further with the extended schedule, reaching historic highs in the 2025 edition. Carlos Alcaraz, one of the harshest critics of the ATP, this decision will undoubtedly not sit well with Carlos Alcaraz or other ATP and WTA players, who feel that tennis tournaments are increasingly disregarding their health. The Spanish player had already voiced his concerns months ago, making it clear that the schedule is too demanding and takes a toll on them. It has been a tough season. I haven't played that many tournaments, but I have played a lot of matches. Many people think this schedule is fine, but others believe there are too many mandatory tournaments, and there will probably be even more in the future. They are killing us. Right now, many players are injured because of the schedule, and at some point, players will have to skip tournaments to take care of their bodies, families, and lives outside of tennis. Despite his protests, the ATP continues to disregard his concerns about the structure of the tennis seasons. Carlos Alcaraz arrives in Rotterdam, a significant absence in his team as he tries to close the gap on Sinner for world number 1. Carlos Alcaraz traveled to Rotterdam this Friday, the next tournament on his schedule, a brief stop in Europe before playing in Doha and then heading to the United States. In the Dutch tournament, where he is making his debut this year, he will not be accompanied by Juan Carlos Ferrero. Instead, Samuel Lopez will be in charge of coaching the world number 3 from the sidelines. After an intense training block at Juan Carlos Ferrero's academy in Vienna, Carlos Alcaraz has now set off for his next tournament following his Australian Open quarterfinals appearance. The Mercian landed in Rotterdam on Friday, where he will compete in the ATP 500 tournament for the first time in his career. Notably, Jannik Sinner will not be present to defend his 2024 title. The Spanish player, who had been battling a slight cold in recent days but is now in top shape, is the top seed in a draw that also features Daniil Medvedev, Alex de Minaur, Holger Rune, and Stefanos Tsitsipas, who was invited at the last minute by the tournament organizers. For this mini-European tour, before heading to Doha for his next tournament and then the Sunshine Double, Indian Wells and Miami, Alcaraz will not have Ferrero on his bench. However, he won't be alone, as Samuel Lopez, who officially joined his coaching staff this year, will be by his side. This is not the first time Lopez has coached Alcaraz from the box. He was there when Alcaraz won the Queen's Club title in 2023. This Saturday, Alcaraz will find out his draw in Rotterdam, where he is making a notable change to his usual schedule. In previous seasons, he would typically switch to clay courts for the South American swing. However, 2025 will be different, as he will miss this weekend's Davis Cup first-round tie. Carlos Alcaraz defended by Patrick Mouratoglou in front of everyone. Jannik Sinner has established himself as the dominant force on the circuit in recent months, overtaking Carlos Alcaraz. The Italian has reached an exceptional level of play, maintaining consistency that has allowed him to rack up title after title, gradually distancing himself from his rivals in the world rankings. His recent victory at the Australian Open caps off a dream 2024, in which he won not only that Grand Slam but also 2 others, US Open and Australian Open, 3 Masters 1000 titles, Miami, Cincinnati, and Shanghai, and the ATP Finals in Turin. These impressive achievements have led many to predict that Sinner's dominance could be overwhelming in the coming years, cementing his place at the top of the tennis world and leaving other top players behind. With his consistency and ability to perform in crucial moments, the young Italian appears poised to define an era in the sport. Patrick Mouratoglou comes to Carlos Alcaraz's defense. Patrick Mouratoglou, one of the most respected tennis analysts in recent decades, has a different perspective. Despite Sinner's rise, he still believes in Carlos Alcaraz's potential and does not see him as being below the Italian. The French coach stated on his Instagram account, "I don't think Sinner is above Alcaraz. When Carlos is at his best, their matches are really close, and I'm not sure who would win. No one can say for sure." Mouratoglou added that all their encounters have been highly competitive and highlighted that Alcaraz has won some of the most crucial ones. According to him, it's incorrect to claim that Sinner is superior, reaffirming his belief that both players are a level above the rest of the circuit. Carlos is playing with much more risk. According to Mouratoglou, the difference between them lies in their playing styles, which is currently impacting Carlos Alcaraz more. Carlos is making more unforced errors than Sinner because he's taking more risks. Sinner's advantage is that he maintains a very high pace without making mistakes, which is one of his key traits. On the other hand, Carlos's greatest strength is his incredible power with the racket and his ability to change the rhythm of the game. While Yannick plays at a consistently high pace, Carlos brings variety to his game, Mouratoglou explained. He also pointed to Alcaraz's impressive record, stating, "Look at the trophies. Both won 2 Grand Slams last year. So far, Carlos has won more Grand Slams than Sinner, and he is also younger." Alcaraz travels to Rotterdam without Ferrero after a training block in Vienna. Carlos Alcaraz set off for the Netherlands on Friday, February 31st, to compete in the ATP 500 Rotterdam 2025, making his debut in the event. The draw will be held this Saturday, and the Spaniard will play his first match on Tuesday or Wednesday, giving him several days to adjust to the court and playing conditions. Carlos will travel with Samuel Lopez as his main coach, while Juan Carlos Ferrero, who oversaw his training in Vienna after the Australian Open, will remain in Spain. Ferrero has been a crucial figure in Alcaraz's development, guiding him from his early years on the professional circuit to becoming one of the top players in the world. His absence in Rotterdam does not indicate a lack of involvement but rather a strategic decision, allowing Alcaraz to continue refining his game under the guidance of another trusted coach. Samuel Lopez, who has worked with top-tier players in the past, brings a wealth of experience and a fresh perspective to Alcaraz's preparation for this critical stretch of the season. His presence in Rotterdam ensures that the young Spaniard receives the necessary tactical and technical guidance to compete at the highest level. Despite battling a cold in recent days, Alcaraz has been training intensely and is fully prepared to chase another title. His resilience and determination remain unwavering as he looks to gain momentum in what promises to be a highly competitive 2025 season. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like, because here at Tennis Zone, we are dedicated to bringing you the best content for the best audience. We provide in-depth analysis, exclusive interviews, and comprehensive coverage of everything related to the world of tennis. Join our community and be part of the excitement of the tournaments with us. Additionally, at Tennis Zone, we strive to bring you up-to-date and high-quality content about players, tournaments, strategies, and the most relevant events in the world of tennis.